Hello everybody, my name is Lunara, and welcome to the Royal Variety. It's time for another Lunara story time today. And today I'm going to tell you the story of mine and Shade's first con. I'm going to preface this by telling you Shade was a furry long before me. She got into it over YouTube, whereas I really didn't understand the furry culture until I was actually at a con. So the first con we decided to go to was Gateway Fur Meet in 2014, I think it is, I want to say. Well, either way, Shade was the one who wanted to go, and she asked me if I wanted to go with her. And I said, sure, why not? I wasn't really interested in furries at the time, but it was the chance to spend a weekend with my best friend, why wouldn't I? So the first part of the tale is getting there, because that was indeed a journey. She could not drive all the way there at the time, so her dad drove us part of the way to the train station, and we decided after that we were going to take the bus. So we took the train. That was pretty uneventful. It was actually cheaper than I expected, but it was pretty boring. It was essentially just a long bus ride. We decided when we got off the train that we would be taking the bus. The train was actually delayed because other trains were running behind schedule. Freight trains, I think it was. So, screw the passengers. They just paid to be on this train. So we were already running late. And after a while, we finally made it to the bus stop in St. Louis. Or we made it to the train station in St. Louis. And we could not find the bus stop. We walked all around trying to find it. We even stopped a few people and asked, but none of them answered. I think most of them didn't even say, I don't know. They just kind of waved it off. So we went back to the train station instead, not knowing what else to do. And we found a cab driver there who was waiting for, I think, a fare who didn't actually show up at the train station. So we asked him, to be more specific, Shade asked him, I didn't even know what to say, if he would take us to the hotel. And he said sure. We got in the cab, and the cab driver was the sweetest gentleman. He was essentially giving us a guided tour as he drove around to our hotel, pointing out restaurants and stores and other things. I tipped him really well because I felt so bad for him, knowing the kind of jerks he must have to deal with on a regular basis. So we got to the hotel thanks to him. And we checked in, yada yada, all that ordinary stuff. And it was a pretty good first day, even though we were late. I think we missed the dealer's den the first day, if I'm remembering correctly. But we had a good time with the panels we were able to attend on the first day. And then second day, we got up very early and we sat around in the lobby and enjoyed some chai lattes. And that's when we met a couple of our furry friends. For one, Axel, who's a pretty loyal viewer. Let's see, what else did we do our first con? The first con, once I was surrounded by furries and I got the culture of it, I understood how, I have trouble coming up with the words to describe it, but I just fell in love with furries. And I love being there, I love being around them. Though, to be honest, if it were not for cons, I probably would not be a furry because I would be too self-conscious to dress up and do that kind of thing. I can only bring myself to do it at a con or if I'm with Shade. I have a fear of judgment. Anyway, the second day we were just into everything. And the second day we had a free lunch as well because there was a lunch going on in one of the rooms, and we attended it. Oh my gosh, I suck at telling this story. Oh well, that's okay. And another thing that we did at the con was we loved the dances. Every single night we went to the dance, no matter how tired we were. Except for the dead dog dance on the last day, which we unfortunately could not attend because we both had work the next day and had to go home. Oh, speaking of work, the funding problems. Neither one of us expected the cab fare. We thought that we were going to take the bus, which would be cheaper. And I had brought food for us to share, like microwavable meals, that kind of thing. I was so mad because on the website it had promised that there would be mini fridges and microwaves. Come to find out, none of the rooms had microwaves. And they did have mini fridges, but they were mini bars, so you couldn't actually use them. So that unfortunately ate into our souvenir fund because we ended up having to eat out every single night. And we did do some research before going on how to have a good con time. We saved up for our cons, we saved up for food, but again, the food budget ended up ballooning because we couldn't eat any of the microwave meals we had brought. We were both pretty mad about that. However, we made it work, and we had a great time at the con. We met some new people, got some fantastic pictures, and unfortunately, Gateway Fur Meet there was no Gateway Fur Meet this year, unfortunately. I was very sad, but we are attempting to make it to another con this year, so hopefully we'll have that, and we're already signed up for Gateway Fur Meet 2018. So there you have it, the story of our first con. I apologize that this was not very organized, and I will talk to you guys later. Hope to see you at the con. Bye!